Hey, everybody. Says I'm live. I'm hoping I got audio with this. Three people on. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Mm, all right, I'll check. I will check. I'm going. All right, I got audio. Beautiful. So, this is a follow up to the YouTube video I did where I called the United States Patent and Trademark Office examiner that had no audio. No audio. A 30-minute call with the examiner, and there was no audio. So I learned a few things, and I've had a little bit of time to digest some of what I learned, some of what I know, and and so I've got to explain some of these things for the public record. Um, so this could be a fairly lengthy video. Um, so I'm hoping that you're able to kick back and enjoy what I'm bringing forward. Uh, you see, I don't even know how to get started on this. Um, my videos are never scripted. My talks are never scripted. Um, I got an idea and I get to go and I just get up and I do it. I'll have reminders. I'll have notes. I'll have material, and I got quite a bit of material laid out here. You really can't see it. So I have won a United States patent. Now, it's been a long struggle. And the original filing in early 2016, there's at least 6 patents in that application. I pursued one, and it was very difficult. The patent should have easily issued within a 2-year time period, but it didn't. 2016 to 2021 is about 5 years. And in there was a final office action denied. So this is a very hard won patent. All right, very hard won. And this is for you. Literally, I mean, this is for every man and your mammals, right? The ones that you take care of, your cats, your dogs, your livestock. This is for oral health, which is extremely important for overall health. And for those of you who aren't up to speed, with a cannabis formulation, euphoric formulation, and non euphoric formulations for removing calcified oral plaques, the cause of a lot of health problems. The prevention of calcified oral plaques. Now, those poor oral health problems lead to a lot of receding gums, a lot of roots being exposed, a lot of tooth decay, very harmful to humans. And with my cannabis formulations, patent pending, we rejuvenate lost gum tissue. It was written in the United States National Library of Medicine. If you have lost gum tissue, it's gone forever. It's not coming back. Long before my discovery. So After winning the patent, I had a very narrow window, to file what they call a PCT, and that's your application for international patents. It gives you a time period to file in all the other countries that participate in the PCT, which is about 150 countries. Now, 6 patents times 150 countries is like, what, 900 patents that I lost. And I'll tell you real briefly how I lost that opportunity. So when I finally got notice of allowance, that means the patent's going to issue, provided I pay the I pay the issue fee, right? Provided I pay the issue fee, it's going to issue. And I don't know when, I just know it's somewhere around 90 days. It's not a week, it's not 2 weeks, it's not 6 months, it's about 90 days. That's what I know. And it's the best information I can get, right? So it's going to issue if I pay that issue fee. And I got the money for the issue fee at that point in time. That's not a problem for me. Now, as I said, there's about at least 6 patents in that original filing. And when that patent issues, it's going to expose all those other potential patents. And at that point, that intellectual property becomes prior art and would no longer be patentable unless, as I understand it, as I have been taught, you got to have a continuation that happens before the patent issues. So now I have to create another patent application, and that's money. I got the money for that, so that's not a problem. But I need to file the PCT in order to be able to secure that time period of about 1.5 years where I can file international patents to the tune of about 900 patents, right? And I need about $6,000 for that, and I don't have it. That's a problem. But here in Michigan, we've long since had medical marijuana. We have recreational marijuana. Washtenaw County, Livingston County, Wayne County, downstate, a lot of money. All right, a lot of money, a lot of cannabis business, a lot of cannabis attorneys. And I'm calling around. I'm calling around all over the country. I'm calling cannabis attorneys, looking for a partner. Well, these 2 guys downstate here in Michigan, Matt McManus and his sidekick Kristen Weissenberg. I might be bastardizing that last name. Anyways, well, they're all in, all right? And they're cannabis attorneys. And they tell me, we don't want you talking with investors. I just need to know how much. And I get them in touch with my patent attorney, R. Reams Goodlow, out there in Kent, Washington. And Goodlow throws me under the bus again. These guys got half of my patent rights, and there's no $6,000 for a PCT filing. So here we are in March of 2023. And in January, I received mail from the United States Patent and Trademark Office. That's this pile here. That's this pile here. And office action summary. Now, to the best of my knowledge, this is the first office action summary since a response to, this is responsive to communication filed on 1/28/2021. So September 2022 is when this was mailed. That's about a year and a half time period. And at this point in time, Mr. R. Reams Goodlow, my former patent attorney, resigned, rightfully so. And I'm sure I'll hit on that as we get into this conversation here. So about a year and a half, I no longer have a patent attorney, and the United States Patent and Trademark Office should be very well aware of that fact. And this says, period for reply. A shortened statutory period for reply is set to expire 2 months from the mailing date of this communication. Already expired. And I had a 30-minute conversation with examiner Michael P. Barker with regards to application number 17/161, 259. And you know what's really interesting on this? All you freedom fighters, constitutionalists, and educated people understand the all caps name. This is my last name in all caps, my first name with a capital first letter and lowercase for the rest, and a capital D, which is right. I got a middle initial. I don't have a middle name. So, shortened statutory period for reply is set to expire. You know what Michael says? The examiner? Too bad. And he talks about what it says in here. It says in here, if no period for reply is specific, the maximum statutory period will apply and will expire 6 months from mailing. This also goes into something. Any reply received by the office later than 3 months after the mail date of this communication, even if timely filed, may reduce any earned patent term adjustment. Well, there's also something about 6 months, and I don't know where that is, but Michael did mention that. So by, I think, near the end of the month, the 23rd or 20 something, he says, I got to properly reply. I mean, I'm not a patent attorney. Now, I explained to him that this mailing that they sent me has no physical address for the United States Patent and Trademark Office on it. It does not have an email address for the examiner. However, it does give a phone number. It gives me a phone number for the examiner and for the examiner's supervisor. So I had to. I struggled with this for weeks. I spent more time thinking about this than I care to think about every day. Well, how am I going to go forward here? Because the situation stands. There isn't one patent attorney or criminal attorney or prosecuting attorney that I can locate on this planet that will take up my cases, and which would be administrative and legal. they wouldn't be lawful. All right, now I'm gonna talk to you about lawful. I'm gonna talk to you about lawful because I held court, and I'm gonna explain this because this is important. Because one of the things that I learned talking from Michael in that 30-minute talk, that there's no audio, thanks YouTube or AI or whatever, whoever, whatever was responsible for that. That wasn't picked up. That because I told him, I said there's certified mail. I have the return card dated received June 17th, 2021, and this was to Drew Hirschfeld, and I believe he's the director. Patent and Trademark Office, director, Patent, United States Patent and Trademark Office. Now, United States PTO. A lot of people probably don't realize PTO, another 3-letter agency, right? So I held court, but we'll come back to that because I think I somehow lost track of where I was with this. So this, for one, no mailing address, and I think Michael thought that there was, and then he couldn't tell me the address of where he works because he didn't know. And I told him, I said, well, that's all right. I've got the address. And I read it here off the green card, right? But there's no audio. P.O. Box 1450, Alexandria, Virginia, 22313, -1450. Excuse me. Later on in the conversation, he confirmed that. All right. Why did I say all right? He confirmed it. That's right. That's a fact. So the fact of the matter is he didn't even know the address. And in discussing the fact that I didn't receive this timely, is that I didn't get a phone call, a text message, an email, or any kind of like instant type notification as describing there. Phone call, text message, email. I got nothing to alert me that they were sending me mail that had a shortened reply time. And he says, well, you're not set up for email correspondence. You're not set up for phone correspondence. And I wasn't set up for mail correspondence as far as I can tell. What did I do to set up mail correspondence? Nothing. What did I do to set up email correspondence? Nothing. What did I do to set up phone call correspondence? Nothing. Do you think with the situation, with the patent attorney resigning, that they might give me some kind of a instant communication to let me know that they're sending mail that has a shortened response time? Oh, well, why would they do that? Or why would they put their address, which they didn't? Their address is not on any of this paperwork, if my only option is to reply by mail. Because, well, I guess it's because it's past the time period. I have to, according to Michael, if I recall correctly, I have to pay money. And maybe there's specific paperwork that needs to be created, which I'm not a patent attorney. I'm not an attorney. I don't know nothing about that crap. And one of the other things that we discussed was Michael Meller, United States Patent and Trademark Office, 3-letter agency. Michael Meller, Meller, Patent Office Examiner for my case, had been dogging my case for some time. And that the National Institute of Health had ignored my emails to them with my discovery, my breakthrough discovery, my patent pending status. And the National Institute of Health put me on a runaround. And let's see. In May 2016, the National Institute of Health funded a research project with $1,800 million, $1.8 billion to rejuvenate gum tissue, ignoring my science, ignoring my proof. The cannabis formulations rejuvenate gum tissue. And it was written in the United States National Library of Medicine, if you have lost gum tissue, it's gone forever. It's not coming back. And Colgate was advertising with it. That's how I got alerted to it, because Colgate was advertising with it. All right. And so that was May 2016. National Institute of Health funds $1.8 billion to rejuvenate gum tissue other than with cannabis formulations. Fast forward 2+ years, it's now the fall of 2018. And United States Patent and Trademark Office Examiner Michael Meller, on 9/11, numbers are big with these people, aren't they? On 9/11, calls R. Reams Goodloe, Reams Goodloe Law Office. This is the phone transcript. This is the phone transcript. I'm going to read it to you. Tuesday, September 11, 2018, 12:56 p.m. That's probably Pacific Coast time. To Reams Goodloe, from Examiner Michael Meller. Associated Files, Dean Ethan. Message. Examiner Miller called to discuss the Dean application. He said he sent Reams an email, in brackets. I don't see anything in my email. Apparently, this person in the office would expect to see what is sent to R. Reams Goodloe. All right, this continues. He, referring to Meller, would not discuss what he needed to discuss with Reams with me. So Miller's calling. At that time, my patent attorney says he sent an email. He's not going to share that email with the head office person. And he's not going to discuss what it's about. Oh, this gets better, folks. There's more. He would not send me the email he sent to Reams. Miller would like Reams to call him when he returns to the office. All right. Now, I got a phone transcript because of this email. This email, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, I couldn't locate. Couldn't locate it. I'm searching and searching and searching through my email using every keyword I can think of. Hours and hours and hours. I won't pull it up. So I contact Goodlow. And I let him know that I want a copy of that email because I'm writing an open letter and I'm putting dates to events. And I wanted that email for that reason, and for that reason only. It's true. And so here's another phone transcript. Okay. This first one was on 9/11. Now we're on 9/17, 2018. 2, Reams Goodlow from Michael Miller. Phone call from Examiner Miller. He was returning my call earlier today, Monday, 9/17, to let him know that I did not receive any email from him regarding possible allowable claims, as discussed on or about Friday, 9/7. So on 9/7, R. Reams Goodlow, my former patent attorney, contacts the United States Patent and Trademark Office Examiner Michael Miller about allowable claims. On 9/11, Miller calls and he won't tell why he calls and he won't share the email with the office. He says, referring to Miller, that he has searched the art and turned up lots of hits on glycerin and cannabis, but suggests that the method claims would be allowable if a hexane extraction step were expressly included in Claim 1. He indicated that he will write up a proposal and send by email. He said he understood that I must review and discuss with the client before getting back to him. No time frame was discussed. Where's the red flags? Where's the red flags? So what does Goodlow do? Goodlow sends me an email. He sends me an email. Part of that email is this email from Michael Miller to him. Which apparently is not in my file, according to Michael Barker. Monday, September 17th, 2018, 10:41 a.m. 2, good patent at earthlink.net. Subject 15/495, 286. Let's cancel all claims and allow. I think I had upwards of 50 claims in that original patent, and with, oh my God. Anyways, I don't want to get sidetracked. I'm going to read this to you, but first understand that what I'm reading to you is a toxic poison. Michael Miller, United States Patent and Trademark Office examiner, had been dogging my case for years. Now that the National Institute of Health has run out of money, $1,800 million, and they failed to regenerate gum tissue. All of a sudden, Miller is attacking my case. He's not dogging it anymore. He's just straight out attacking it. Let's cancel all claims and allow a method for preparing a mouthwash consisting essentially of a cannabis extract consisting essentially of A, contacting said cannabis, which is one or more of cannabis sativa or cannabis indica or cannabis ruderalis or interbred strains thereof, with a human ingestible solvent system consisting essentially of glycerin and hexane. Maintaining contact between said cannabis and said human ingestible solvent system under alternating temperature conditions. You get that? Said human ingestible solvent system. Remember, this is a poison. Under alternating temperature conditions consisting essentially of glycerin and hexane. Said alternating temperature conditions consisting essentially of I, a selected time X at refrigerated condition, and II, a selected time Y at room temperature condition. Said alternating temperature condition having a range of about minus 20F to about 110F. C, repeating the refrigerated condition and the room temperature condition N plus I cycles where N is a positive integer. And D, filtering cannabis from said human ingestible solvent system under alternating temperature conditions consisting essentially of glycerin and hexane, glycerin and hexane, glycerin and hexane, to produce a substantially pure liquid mouth rinse consisting essentially of a cannabis extract and hexane, which is toxic to humans. It's a pure poison. Let's cancel all Dean's claims. How many eventually issued? How many eventually issued? 31. I think you can see it. I can't see the screen right now, but you should be. Let me see. You should be able to see that. 31 claims. Of course, this is available. This is public information. This prior art, public information. 31 claims issued. Miller wants me to drop all my claims. Eventually, Miller, examiner, final office action denied. What would you do? What would you do? I'm going to tell you what I did. I did a lot. Now, along that time period, I got so many thoughts in my head right now. I got to pick one out to keep on talking with you. During that time period, I had contacted with NDA. That's a non-disclosure agreement that allows me to share private information like my intellectual property without making it prior art. I shared my patent application with another patent attorney. Now, this patent attorney was a very interesting gentleman for several reasons. One, he's a genius. Two, he's a scientist. And third, he's a cannabis guy. And he reported back to me. He said I'm paraphrasing here. Ethan, you have many patents in your filing, and it looks like you're on your way to issue. I got that final office action denied. I called the patent attorney, R. Reams Goodlow, and I explained to him about this other patent attorney and his response to me. And then I said, I don't feel like I'm on a level playing field. And Goodlow instantly responds, you're not. Whoa. All right. Now what? Well, Goodlow says, sometimes in these kind of situations, I'm paraphrasing again because I can't remember exactly what he said, but in these situations, sometimes a phone call can rectify it. I think it was $800. He's quoting me for a phone call. What about the communication back and forth to set up that phone call, and oh my goodness. That was an expensive phone call. Well, guess what happened? That patent issued. So now, as I explained earlier, I'm under this timeline where I need to do a continuation application and file the PCT in order to protect my rights. Now, it was when I was writing that open letter that I actually came to the realization that all the problems I was having wasn't just because of a system that was flawed or, because there was never visual, measurable, repeatable science for the efficacy of cannabis, right? It's zero medicinal value, high propensity for abuse. So for your safety, if you have it, we're going to put you in prison. We're going to destroy your business, destroy your life, destroy your family, destroy you for your freedom and your liberty and your safety, because cannabis is dangerous, right? Well, anyways, I come up with scientific evidence, visual, pictured. In fact, I had to push on Goodlow to get that gum tissue rejuvenation in the application. He's resisting me and get it in there. And then in the process, he said to me one day, he says, you need to prove it. Since when do you need to prove your patent application? Huh? Guys write patents for things that are not built based on speculation of future advancements that don't exist today. You get patents on vaccines that have never been tested. Oh my goodness. Anyways, he says to me, you got to prove it. So I did. I proved it. I lost my train of thought again. I'm sorry, folks. Bear with me, please. We're going to talk about how to hold court and why I held court and how I held court, and the fact that that is not in my record either. It's not in my record either. Now, I know. I think I was where I was. I had no idea that I was being attacked. I thought it was just a bad Bad system. And up until that point, nobody had visual, measurable, repeatable science for efficacy of cannabis. So I got it. And for a condition that science had given up on, they put in the United States National Library of Medicine. So you can see this is extremely disruptive to what? Dentistry, the AMA, a private member association. Private member means they operate outside of government. Private member, operate outside of government. The ADA is a private membership association. I'm piercing their corporate veil. The AMA, why? Because toxic teeth are the cause of many poor health problems. The 2000 Surgeon General report, the United States Surgeon General report of the year 2000, he said you cannot be healthy with, you cannot have good overall health without good oral health. You have to have good oral health to have good overall health. And Dr. Thomas Levy explains to us that every root canal tooth is a toxic tooth, 100%. The man's a heart surgeon. He's an attorney. And on the homepage of my website, oralhealthwithcannabis.com, you can find that in the description of all my videos. You can find a talk that Dr. Thomas Levy gives to a group at an international oral health conference. And the man's not a dentist. He explains to them that every root canal tooth is a toxic tooth, and he finds oral plaques in the high pressure ventricle in 90% of his patients. He's a heart surgeon. Oral plaques in the high pressure ventricle. Dr. Thomas Levy says that when the tooth is dead, the bacteria that's in the tubules, you have 2 to 6 miles of tubules in the root of every tooth, depending on the size of the tooth. The bigger the tooth, the more miles of tubule. Where bacteria can fit 5 side by side, bacteria and fungus. And Dr. Thomas Levy explains that bacteria morphs into deadly, toxic bacteria. And he goes on to explain that when it's in a molar, the immense pressure from chewing is more effective at delivering those toxins, those deadly toxins, into your lymphatic system, more effective than a syringe. He claims it's a cause of the majority of breast cancer and can be a cause of virtually any inflammatory condition. My toxic teeth damn near killed me. My younger brother, died from poor oral health and oral cancer. 15 million root canal procedures in the United States of America every day. And I got the United States Patent and Trademark Office attacking my intellectual property. I got the National Institute of Health ignoring my science and spend $1,800 million a year money so that you cannot have oral health with cannabis. You. Non-euphoric formulations. Euphoric formulations. You can't have it. Government not going to let you have it. Very disruptive to dentistry, very disruptive to medical. AMA, American Medical Association, another private membership association that operates outside of government. Outside of government control. Oh, their doctors get licensed. But the AMA operates outside of government control, private membership association. Very disruptive to the medical industry. Oh, is there more? Yeah. What about pharma? Oh, so disruptive to pharma. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what other industry does it disrupt? the bar. Oh, those poor British agents. Oh, those poor babies. All those lawsuits, all those contracts, all those legal papers that aren't going to have to be written because you don't have all those stupid businesses with all their stupid poison trying to kill you. So here we are today. Here we are today. I got this email here. April 20, 2021. I had written my open letter. I'd written the open letter. And I sent copy to my patent attorney, who had not yet resigned. And I didn't fire him. And this is his response to me. Ethan, we can keep on file whatever you have sent. All right. I asked him to back up my entire file. Every communication, back it up. And I'm going to want a copy. Ethan, we can keep on file whatever you have sent. However, I'm not going to take the time to read through and digest the info. Of course not. It's just my open letter about all the corruption that's been going on that you've been a part of, Mr. Goodlow. He goes on, yes, you are probably correct that the examiner was corrupt and in cahoots with one or more industry players. However, being a whistleblower and making such info public usually isn't a profitable endeavor. Even though you are probably mad as hell at their attempt to steal your invention or at least quash your ability to protect it. My recommendation would be to think about just laying low for a while and working on licensing or otherwise commercializing the invention, blah, 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 blah. I'm a businessman. I've done international business, multi-million-dollar business. Oh, just don't concern yourself with the fact that I've been effing you. The examiner's been effing you. The National Institute of Health's been effing you. Everyone's been effing you. Just lay low. What did I say back here when I went, What did I say back here? Oh, Goodlow. No, it was in this phone record. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. And then Goodlow says, he said he, referring to Miller, Goodlow referring to Miller, he said he understood that I must review and discuss with client before getting back to him. No time frame was discussed. That's where I went, right? Red flag, red flag. What are you talking about? Well, I just read to you his email. Let me see. That was back in 2018. This is in 2021. Being a whistleblower and making such info public usually isn't a profitable endeavor. It never had to be made public, Goodlow. All you had to do, Mr. Patent Attorney, was never send me that email and force me into making a decision on that and charging me for it. Charging me for the email, charging me for the discussion, charging me for everything that happened forward from that, Goodlow. I should have received a copy of that email with some type of communication saying, Ethan, this is not right. This is highly irregular, very unusual, and I'm forwarding this to you as a courtesy and to let you know that I am taking this up the chain. We've got a corrupt actor here. That's what Goodloe should have done, but he didn't, because it's not profitable to be a whistleblower. It's much more profitable for Goodloe to just keep billing me so that you can't have optimal oral health with cannabis, so that you can have optimal overall health. That would be if you could get clean water, if you could get healthy food, if you could be breathing clean air. We're fighting for all of that crap too, right? We're fighting through all of that crap to have all that good stuff, right? So, anyways, it's my position that I'm still being gang stalked in many ways, and in part through this communication from the United States Patent and Trademark Office. With all that interference in economic interest, with all that BS going on, I'm just noticing, right, one comment here. Tells me people have been coming and going. It'll tell me later how many were here. I got the live chat set for replay. I was hoping to see some comments in here. I was hoping to see some people stand up and voice themselves. But that's all right, because we're a fear-based society. You're all living in fear, and it's paralyzing. And it comes from generations of MK Ultra, brainwashing, toxifying you, calcifying your pineal gland, taking away your energy, taking away your authority, taking away your masculinity. And so at any rate, we talked about the attorneys. Now, there's been a lot of attorneys that have been involved in this, from the prosecuting attorney who back in, my goodness, what year would that have been? That would have been somewhere around 2013. Somewhere around 2000, no, yeah, 2013, because I had opened up that shop, and I was renting. I was renting that space, and there were plenty of other shops that had been operating for a long time. Of course, we had no licensing or any kind of like that. It was just like grassroots, pop it up and do it. And in certain areas, the prosecutor protected the owners of those shops and the landowners of those shops and the patrons of those shops. Like in Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor never prosecuted any of the shops. There was a federal raid, and I believe charges were dropped and that shop reopened. I think that was the People's Choice, if I remember correctly. I was a farmer supplier for the People's Choice at one point in time. So, but that was downstate in Ann Arbor, and I'm upstate in Kalkaska County, and my shop's in Leetsville, out in the middle of nowhere. I'm not in the village. All right, I'm in the middle of nowhere, and sparse population up here. And there were some raids that were happening around. And then there was one that, I don't know, it put the fear of God into my landlord. I come rolling into the shop and things don't look right. Oh, my key don't work. I can't open the door. Ethan, I need you to clear out of here. And, he's telling me about this raid. And so I shut down. Well, it's sometime later, and it must have been in 2013. Maybe it was early 2014. Because I reopened that. I remember I reopened that shop and I ran it for about 2 years. And and here's the reason why I reopened it. One of the activists, his name is Jamie Lowell, and if you were to Google Jamie Lowell or search engine Jamie Lowell, Lowell, you'll find a lot of articles on him. It was a cannabis activist that I rubbed shoulders with at many events and meetings. And Jamie called me and he says, Ethan, he says, do you think you can get your shop reopened? I said, hey, Jamie, I don't know why. What's going on? He says, look, he says, there's legislation being proposed that operating shops will be grandfathered into the licensing scheme. I was like, oh, cool. So I lickety split got over and spoke with my former landlord and explained this to him. And he says, I need to think about it, right? And well, he gets back with me. He says, Ethan, I went and met with the prosecutor. And the prosecutor gave his blessings. You can go ahead and reopen that shop. Now, the prosecutor, Michael Perot, Kalkaska County, former Kalkaska County prosecutor, Michael Perot says, yes, you can go ahead and open that shop back up. And, but it better be marijuana and nothing but marijuana. If it's other than marijuana, I'll have to investigate. Well, there was nothing but marijuana. In other words, there were no other drugs. There wasn't heroin or mescaline or mushrooms or speed or downers or nothing. Marijuana. Not, of course, I had pipes and screens and papers and, things like that. And I had kratom, which was perfectly legal. There was nothing else. And I ran a tight shop. I ran a very tight shop because I'm a very serious man. I took everything very serious. And I knew that I was in a sense, a pioneer, groundbreaking, doing things that a lot of people wanted to do but didn't have the guts to do. That's what I was doing. And so I had the prosecutor's permission to run that shop. And December 2015, I received these pictures. One of the farmers that I barely knew, I only met him because I opened a shop and he came in one day. One day came to me and says, Ethan, he said, I talked with my dentist and we'll put your claims to the test. So I gave him a couple bottles of the mouth rinse. And he comes back to me one day. I never met his dentist. I didn't know his dentist. His dentist did an evaluation. He went into the dentist office. He had brushed and flossed, chewed a plaque disclosing tablet. That's a red dye. that attaches to the plaques. And the dentist took a picture. And you can see there's a lot of red. Now he's got I think a partial on the upper there, his eye teeth. He's got some gold. He's got some crowns probably, but you can see there's a lot of red on the teeth and the gums. That's plaques. That's calcified plaques. He used the mouth rinse once a day for 30 days. Went back to the dentist, same procedure: brushed, flossed, chewed a plaque disclosing dye capsule. Took another picture. Look at the difference. At this point, this dentist was so at this point, the dentist says, I can't say anything good about this because pocket depths have increased. And he continued using the mouth rinse. However, before we could get to the 60-day evaluation, at about the 45-day mark, I'd only had those pictures for about 2 weeks. Here comes the Michigan State Police and the Kalkaska County Sheriff's Department, representing the state of Michigan as a Traverse narcotics team, come and raid my shop and raid my home. They steal my guns, they steal my vehicles, they steal my son's 30-foot triple axle enclosed trailer. They ignored a court command from their corporate system, from their corporate British agent judge, through their corporate state police and their corporate sheriff, their statutes, their acts, their command, a judge's command to seize everything. And that was all listed off. And it wasn't cash, it wasn't guns, it wasn't vehicles and trailers. It was all everything related cannabis, baggies, labels, packaging, anything, computers. They left all of that. They left virtually 95 to 98%, including my processing equipment for the oil, which at that time concentrates, even though our public initiative, our referendum that we got on the ballot and passed with votes, the way I read it, it allowed for provisioning centers, dispensaries, concentrates, but the state's not allowing it. States are not allowing dispensaries, provisioning centers, and concentrates. At that point in time, were not considered part of medical marijuana. But I was using concentrates for my formulations. And I had built equipment for doing the distilling to get the solvents that's used to do the extraction. We need to get that out. And so I built special equipment for that reclaimed the solvent so I could reuse the solvent over and over and over again, because that solvent's expensive. And I was buying 50-gallon drums of it. I had it going on. I did it. Small time. I mean, little teeny tiny shop. But still, I'm using 50-gallon barrels, and I am recovering 95% of my alcohol. That'll give you an idea of the volume that I was doing. So I got these pictures for about 2 weeks, and here they come. And they got a court command, which they ignored. It seems like there was about 7 of them here. They all conspired together, or they were coerced by the team leader, Michigan State Police Sergeant Jerry King. The leader, ex-FBI man. So he claimed. Because he said to me, he said to me something. I said something, and he responded something back. Do you want me to call the FBI? I used to be with the FBI. Right? Paraphrasing again. I mean, what I was going through at that time, they're handcuffing me. They're rifling through my pockets, and they're taking me out, putting me in the car. Well, they're raiding my shop. So, so there's another document here that this is court. This is common law court, court of record, court of law. Sent, certified mail. It's original. I got the green card here. I'll show you. Because this is for the public record, so I want you to see. I want this to be visible. All right. That's the proof. I got the card back. Here's my green slip. There's my register receipt. That's considered proper service. Proper service. So I've been trying to take care of business. And this is from Ethan D. Dean as claimant, one of the people. 2, Drew Hirschfeld, Director, United States Patent and Trademark Office, P.O. Box 1450, Alexandria, Virginia. And it's not in all caps, right? This is going to the man. And the man is the respondent. It says on the document, respondent. And I am one of the people, claimant. This is notice of civil rights violation, notice of maladministration, notice of misadministration, notice of fraud, notice of constitutional demand, notice of common law, notice of change in contract terms, notice of right to arbitration, notice of treason. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. Notice by affidavit. Now we step into court. Comes now affiant, one of the people, as seen in the Michigan Bill of Rights, Article 1, Section 2, Michigan Constitution, G. Juris in this court of record, do make the following claims. Now, I've read this before. I've read most of my cases, and you can find many of them in the documents section on the, services page of my website, oralhealthwithcannabis.com. And what you would be looking for is a PDF, 2 PDF files, and it references Gretchen and Camp Grayling. And that was the court case that I put on 3 garrison commanders at Camp Grayling, which included many of the cases like this one. And you'll see when you read that, I entered court as executive emergency manager of Michigan. And I was calling the military in because I put Gretchen in court. She's a bar attorney. She's a governor. Probably the first time in her life she was ever in a court of law. Everybody pleads guilty to treason, as did Drew Hirschfeld. He's the respondent. Now, the point is, notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. That means anybody touching my case should have a copy of this. All right. So this is quite an interesting document here. And now, when you're going to be in a common law court, you're going to bring claims. You should bring remedy. So on page 11, there's a very powerful section here, and I'm going to read. I'm going to read this whole section, and I'm going to stop and do a little bit of commentary. So this is an affidavit and contract and change of terms. That's written out in bold and underlined. It goes on. Any man or woman who denies these claims are true must rebut them under penalty of perjury in the form of a sworn affidavit. Any man or woman who decides to suppress this affidavit agrees to pay $30,000, and any disputes by any public officials or private actors who are bound by contract to the United States Constitution within the United States agrees to have these matters heard before an arbitrator of my choice and to be bound thereby. All right, a couple of bits of commentary here. Obviously, this is not in my record. It was not available to examiner Michael Barker, who's in charge of examining my application for allowance. It's obvious here. There's a $30,000 fee that's due me that has not been paid. Because, oh, Ethan, it's too bad. I sent you mail. We didn't give you any notification. We didn't call you. We didn't text you. We didn't send you an email because we didn't call you because you're not set up for phone. We didn't email you because you're not set up for email. You're not set up for mail, but we mailed you anyways. Fucking bullshit. So, as far as I'm concerned, the United States Patent and Trademark Office has a lot of correction to do. A lot of correction to do. They got Michael Meller's still working there. And I would imagine the director is still working there. I know Meller's working there because that audio that didn't go. We just got a silent recording. At least we got me on the phone for 30 minutes. You can see I'm talking with somebody. You can look at the title of the video, and you can see all the follow-up I've done. Why would I be making this stuff up? My goodness. Any man or woman denying these claims are true must rebut these claims point by point within 5 days or 120 hours. Failure to respond means that by acquiescence, you agree that all claims are true. Failing to respond with constitutionally granted authority, which gave you the power to disregard the rights of the people mentioned within this affidavit and contract, means that you agree to have this affidavit used as evidence of treason, civil rights violations, and maladministration. You further agree that once the 5-day time period has expired, this affidavit becomes truth and law, and that all matters must be considered adjudged, and that no court has jurisdiction to rehear these matters, and that the witness and all additional witnesses against the United States Patent and Trademark Office and any culpable bad actors employed within the department or agencies, departments, or divisions, or the individuals contracted by the United States Patent and Trademark Office shall be considered sufficient for conviction. The problem is the bar the British agents have usurped our judicial. Our executive branch is corrupt, federal and state. Our legislative is corrupt, federal and state. And our judicial is corrupt, federal, state, and county. And it's all run by British agents. Oh, you don't have a license to practice law. Neither does a bar member. They get a bar card, like a Walmart card, like a McDonald's card, little corporation card. They don't have a license. Oh, I'm going to get to the remedy. All right, but before I get to the remedy, how about we talk a little Constitution? Your right to the courts. This is Alabama Constitution. In the document section of the services page at oralhealthwithcannabis.com, you can find a document called 48 Love Letters. That's 48 states' constitutions. These were the oldest constitutions I could find because that's what I wanted. You have less tampering. The older the Constitution, the less tampering has been done. There's been tampering, I'm going to say, in all of those constitutions, and there's been amendments, changes that are not constitutional that must be abrogated. However, we're talking about the courts and your right to the courts, and the fact that these British agents, these bar members, British Accredited Registry, the American Bar Association, another private member association that operates outside of government, that has usurped your judicial system, that operates in legalese, assumptions and presumptions, statutes, acts, rules, codes, regulations, ordinances that do not apply to you. But yet you are human trafficked. You're human trafficked by the DA, by the county prosecutor, by the sheriff's department with his bailiffs, by the state policy officers, your township, your police, your city police, all of them, these parasites. Alabama Constitution, Section 10, right to prosecute civil cause, that no person shall be barred from prosecuting or defending before any tribunal in this state by himself or counsel any civil cause to which he is party. Yeah, but Ethan, that's Alabama. Look, this is America. This is common law across the common land. Can you have a right in Florida that I don't have here in Michigan? Can somebody in Texas have a right that we don't get in Florida or Michigan or any other state? Wrong. Your rights come from God. Your rights come from nature. Your rights are unalienable, unalienable. You have the authority. You are the highest power. You are the highest law. Own your authority. Georgia. Paragraph 12. Right to the courts. No person shall be deprived to the right to prosecute or defend, either in person or by an attorney, that person's own cause in any of the courts of this state. Now, people will tell you to read your state constitution. I say that's good advice, but no, you need to read them all. Because you don't know your rights. If you knew who you were, none of this would be necessary. None of this would be necessary. None of the paperwork you've done, none of the BS you've done, none of all this harvesting that's been put on against us. No, and we wouldn't be suffering with all these other things, as toxic food, toxic water, toxic education, toxic living, poisoning us, killing us, enslaving us. We wouldn't be living that way if we knew who we were. So again, your rights are unalienable. They're unalienable. They come from God. They are natural. You have the right to survive. What are you born with? What do you come into this world with? Do you come into this world with a contract? No. Come into this world breathing air. That's what you do. So, man, in community creates society. And in America, our forefathers did it to get away from despotism, slavery, that no person shall be barred from prosecuting or defending before any tribunal in this state by himself or counsel any civil cause to which he is party. What did I do? What did I do? Comes now affiant, one of the people as seen in the Michigan Bill of Rights, Article 1, Section 2, Michigan Constitution, G. Juris, in this court of record, do make the following claims. What do I got wrong? You tell me, what do I got wrong? I don't think I got nothing wrong. What I got is I got the guts and I got the chutzpah to fight back for you and to teach you how to own your authority so you can be free, so your children can be free, so your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your posterity, everything that comes after us. So, if you're going to bring a claim in a common law court, you should be coming with a remedy. I did. It's right here. I'm going to read it to you. See that? Remedy. Remedy shall be had by compensating Mr. Ethan D. Dean $3.8 trillion US dollars for his national and international opportunity losses in patent protection, with 18 annual installments, the first to be paid beginning November 2021. And the triple the life of the U.S. intellectual property of Mr. Ethan D. Dean for civil rights violations, and provide the detailed investigation report timely with proper certified service. So in this court, I demanded an investigation, a thorough investigation, and a report to be sent to me. I haven't received the $30,000. I haven't received the initial installment due November 2021, the second installment due November 2022. And I feel like I'm still being played on an unlevel playing field by the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And that's why I made that phone call. And to put it on the public record, who calls a patent office examiner and tells them this is a public recorded call? Ethan Dean, that's who. And he says, "Are you serious?" Yeah, I was serious as a heart attack. I was dead serious. Got no audio. So, you see, folks, at this point, I am beyond mad as hell. I can now laugh about this. And I can now find some enjoyment in this fight, because I fought so hard for so long And in addition to fighting so hard and so long, I have been investigating. And I have become an investigative journalist at this point with YouTube. I've become a whistleblower. I'm a detective, a gumshoe, a prosecutor, the executive emergency manager for Michigan, the claimant, one of the people, owning my authority. You can own your authority. You should own your authority. You need to hold these parasites to account. Do you know about the Americans Notice of Liability? It's a document I created. I created it for myself. And then someone asked me, well, can you make one for me? And then someone else asked, can you make one for me? And again and again, well, geez, this one's in Florida, that one's in Texas. It's like, oh my goodness. And like, I don't want to do this for all states. I said, there's got to be a way to make this generic. And I did. I accomplished it. And you can get your Americans Notice of Liability cheap as free because I charge nothing. I charge nothing for anything. All my the information I share, the documents I create, I charge nothing. And I explain what I've done and how I've done it. I'm not telling you I'm not telling you to do it. But I do suggest if you do facilitate the Americans Notice of Liability, the best way to use it is to serve it on your sheriff in his lobby, under his audio, under his video, and you record it too. And you serve it on him. And you tell the sheriff that road piracy just ended in your county, sheriff. And you are hereby ordered to contact all other policy enforcers. That means township, village, city, private, it don't matter. Federal, you contact them all and you tell them that road piracy has ended in this county as of now. Why? Because you just served that sheriff with the Americans Notice of Liability, which is a court of record document. A court of record document. I'm going to explain it to you. Comes now affiant, one of the people, as seen in the Michigan Bill of Rights, Article 1, Section 1, Michigan Constitution, G. Juris, in this court of record, do make the following claims: notice of liability and common law. Okay, you got it? Now, for the generic one, I believe I used Indiana Constitution. And the reason I used it is because it's got a very, very powerful article section. And one of the most powerful. And I crafted the language, comes now affiant, one of the people of the several states as seen in the, and I believe it's the Indiana Constitution. It's been a long time since I looked at that. All right, and so there's two Americans Notice of Liability there. One of them will have the word coroner in there. If you want to be coroner, pick that one. In Michigan, we don't have coroners. We have medical examiners. Coroner is a very important position. Now, read this top part. From here down is verification. Notary as jurat, certificate. Notary as jurat, certificate. So I'll read what's in between. Now we've come into court. I declare and adamantly affirm the following. You may wish to provide care. Officer, public servant, you may wish to provide care. Oh, I'm not being a good smoker. I have to exercise the lungs. Got to keep them working. In the event of a stop, you now have 2 minutes to make your decision. I will not be detained willingly. After the 2-minute time period expires, your insistence or demand of my detention and or any other requirement of me is under duress. And protest to and of trespass of my rights. A trespass upon my rights by you or by you and cohort will bind to incurring penalties upon one and all, individually, personally, professionally, and is equally and additionally binding upon a department, division, agency, association, or organization bearing responsibility for the individual. Got the S in comma on pretty much all of these penalties, rights, individuals, right? It spells the word out, individual, and then the S is in a bracket. Or to personnel, same thing as duty, conduct, and or action. Same thing with the S there. First trespass, minimum fee and charge $100,000 and charge of trespass. Second trespass, minimum fee, charge of treason, I should say. I'll read that over. First trespass, minimum fee and charge $100,000 and charge of treason. This is a little bit more than a fee schedule, baby. There's a little bit more than a fee schedule. You're going to take on a criminal charge of trespass. Second trespass, minimum fee and charge $200,000 and charge of treason. Third trespass, minimum fee and charge $1 million and charge of treason. Constitutionally, I am a free man by nature. And I might have put in brackets man or woman. I mean, male or female. Again, this is my original. It was for me. I'm not concerned. Am I a woman? Constitutionally, I am a free man by nature. I am not property. I am not in contract with the state or any agency, department, or division within or of the state. No entity nor man has title over or ownership of a free man. Administering a free man is repugnant to his freedom, liberty, happiness, privacy, security, and life. I have not been declared incompetent. You have been noticed by one of the people. Please take further notice. I retain all rights to remedy and surrender none. May God bless you in your day. Amen. It's a very powerful document. It's a common law document. It's a court of record document. It is law when you create it and you serve it. You own your authority, your God-given authority, your natural authority, your once constitutionally protected authority. Now, I took it a step further. Eventually, I learned about prepaid first-class mail. How to send your mail with a 2-cent stamp as tax and duty. And I facilitated that. I'll prove it to you. I've done many talks on this. This is on the back side of my Americans Notice of Liability. I have a copy of the mailer here. I have the green card, front and back. I have the 3806 and the register receipt. Now, I think you can see $0.00 right here. Right where? Right here. $0.00. Try and hold that steady for you. Grand total right there. Let's see. Yeah, $0.00. Okay. This is on 5/3/2022 at 12:22 p.m. I've been having some nice synchronicity with numbers over the last year. It's almost driving me a little bit with the synchronicities. It's just a little bit overwhelming at times. First class mail, $1.36. Registered mail, $14.35. Return receipt, $3.05. A fixed postage, minus $18.76. A fixed amount, $18.76. Total $0.00. This went from the United States Post Office, being facilitated by the United States Postal Service in the village of Kalkaska, in the county of Kalkaska, in the state of Michigan. Oh, there's some important labeling. So up here for the return address, I'll tell you, it says Foreign Office of Origin. Foreign to what? The United States, the United States Corporation. Legalese, statutes, acts, rules, codes, regulations, ordinances. Diplomatic immunity. Recognized in what jurisdictions, Ethan? The United States Post Office, federal. The United States Postal Service, federal. The Global Postal Union, global. The Universal Postal Union. The village of Kalkaska, the county of Kalkaska, the state of Michigan. And that is a registered case. It's registered mail. And it was facilitated all the way to the Arrest Reward Processing Center in Texas. I want to say Kingston. I didn't say the city because I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it went all the way to Texas. How many processing facilities did it go through? Well, and boy, did that end up causing a little bit of a stir, because a little while later I went to the post office just to get supplies, and I got questioned, I got lectured, and I was threatened by an idiot. In Kalkaska Village, we got a lot of village idiots. Chief of police shooting for top idiot. Yeah. Chief of police shooting for top village idiot. But he's got a lot of competition. The sheriff, the undersheriff, judges. As far as I'm concerned, I got the judge on mail fraud. Judge Lynn M. Boudet. Oh, I'll put her in my court too. I put a lot of people in my court. Don't let anybody tell you you don't have court. Now, the paperwork, if you read through my court cases, you will see how that paperwork evolved. And I started out with some with the paperwork. It came from Dave Jose. Dave cares for you. And when I first saw that paperwork, I was like, "All right, yeah, sure, I'm going to do this, right?" And then I kept studying and studying. And I was like, "Yeah, I am going to use that paperwork." And after I make that decision, Matt DePerno, a British agent, a bar attorney, is who was running for um, Michigan DA, adopted Dave Jose's paperwork and facilitated, I want to say something like 40,000 individual cases. And that gave me a tremendous amount of confidence in the paperwork. A British agent with a bar card who was running for maybe attorney general. Maybe that's, I don't know, attorney general, district attorney. And so, like I say, the paperwork evolved. My paperwork evolved over time. Matt DePerno, in this section, this is an affidavit and contract and change of terms. Matt DePerno added a couple of words. And at first I was impressed. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, that doesn't change anything because that's how it stands anyways. Matt DePerno added the words, and to be bound thereby, after agrees to have these matters heard before an arbitrator of my choice. Well, arbitration is binding. So to add the words and be bound thereby, okay. I added them in. But one thing that Jose's paperwork doesn't have, and DePerno's paperwork doesn't have, to the best of my knowledge, is discovery, which is admits. And I got pages and pages and pages of admits. And there's only, to the best of my knowledge, there's only 3 ways to answer an admit. And that's either I admit, I deny, or I can neither admit or deny. And this is why I put the exhibits in there. So when I want to say admit, that United States Patent and Trademark Office examiner Michael Meller called the law office of R. Reams Goodloe on this date, period. And I give the phone transcript. That's evidence. They cannot answer, can neither admit or deny. Can't deny it when the evidence is right there in front of you. And these people do not want to write back and say, I admit, I admit, I admit. And this is why in the section, this is affidavit, contract, and change of terms, we specifically spell it out that they are to respond point by point under penalty of perjury. Failure to respond by acquiescence means that you agree to these claims, or however that's worded. I mean, I might have misstated exactly how that's worded, but I read it to you already. And the documents available to you. So at any rate, there's so much exposure going on today. I mean, look, folks, for me, I've been on this journey since 2000, I want to say 2009, when we got our referendum passed. And 2009, 2010. And then 2015, after years of weaving through the system and surviving, right? Um, Here they come. Here they come, hard, hot, and heavy. And then it can be considered nothing but gang stalking by government, pharma, tech, the bar. Right now, today, there ain't an attorney that wants to touch any of this. Not criminal, not patent, not prosecute. No British agent wants to come near this because it's all slam dunk. Slam dunk for you. Slam dunk for me. This is why the system is coming down. Now, today, March 2023, we've got some really great things to look at if you know how to look at them. And Derek Johnson is a man who can give you those eyes, at least part of it. And holy cow, I wish that I wished I'd have known more sooner. I'd have had maybe more confidence and less fear, but that don't matter because I'm here. And I overcame the fear, and I'm glad to be here. And I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep fighting for you. I'm going to keep educating myself. I'm going to keep sharing with you my knowledge, my fight, and I am forced to put this on the public record. That's why I'm making these videos. I'm not really doing it to complain. I don't really want to ever sound like I'm complaining, although I do a lot of complaining. It's more explaining than complaining. Like I said, I'm way beyond being mad as hell. I'm way beyond that. So we're looking for accountability. We're looking for justice. We're looking for restitution. We're looking for corrective actions. And this is all in part what I can do for our fight for freedom. There's a lot of good people doing good things for you, for your freedom. And we need more of it, people. And we really need to come together and stand together in a civilian military operation to finish taking down this Khazarian mafia, this cabal, this world dominance. And this is what Derek Johnson does a real good job of giving you eyes to see as he explains the laws and orders and other factual, undeniable events that will give you the eyes to see. And that can help give you the confidence to stand the way I've been standing all this time. Own your authority. My recommendation is you go download that Americans Notice of Liability and you facilitate it. You make it your own. You put your name where it belongs. You put your county and your state where it belongs. You get the date correct. And then go take a copy of that down, or 2 copies. You can make 2 originals. You can make 10 originals. Go down to the public notary and facilitate it. Put your John Henry on there. Put your autograph on there. Let the public notary witness it as a notary juris certificate. Now you got a court of record document. Anyone's going to go against those claims of your rights, your unalienable, once constitutionally protected rights, they got to bring a remedy, and they've got to do it in a court of law, not in a corporate administrative proceeding of assumptions and presumptions where they're going to assume and presume that you're a slave and that they can just trespass and torture and rape and punish you any way that they see fit. So the main reason for this video is to talk about that call, that 30-minute call with the examiner that I got no audio on, because I've had a little bit of time to think about it. So he's talking about money. They owe me money. Procedure. I think I'm going to have to insist that all proceedings are put on hold and a deep internal investigation needs to happen, and corrective actions need to be taken, and they need to understand that because of the fact that this technology is so disruptive to the ADA, the AMA, the ABA, pharma. It's so disruptive to those industries that there are people that just do not want it. Oh, and what about the not just the bar, the judicial system, and the private prisons? You're going to tell me zero medicinal value? In the land of the home, the land of the brave, the home of goodness gracious, the home of the brave and the land of the free, where liberty is everything, and marijuana is essential for human health, and I prove it scientifically, and we still keep putting people in jail, in court, and in prison for marijuana, in a form of human trafficking. That's right, sheriff, undersheriff, deputies, police chief, police sergeant, police officers, prosecuting attorneys, bar members in black robes. The way I see it, you're all involved in human trafficking. Oh, there's a real stiff penalty for that. And I suggest that you get on your knees and beg for forgiveness, because we're coming. And ain't nothing going to stop us. Ain't nothing going to stop us. We the people, the world over, are coming for you human traffickers, for you parasites, for you scumbags, for you worthless pieces of shit. By God. So, with that, folks, take a deep breath. If you haven't been paying attention to Derek Johnson, I'm going to recommend that you do. Derek Johnson and SG Anon. In my opinion, you're not wasting your time listening to either one of those. If I feel that changes, I'll come back and make that correction. I also recommend you listen to me too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here doing this. But for those of you that do, thank you. And know that I love all the good people. And I send love to all the bad people, because that destroys them. And I'm fighting for all you good people. And I'm fighting against all you bad people. And I ain't going to quit till we win. And we're winning big time. All right, everybody. Oh, just got somebody popped in here. One comment. Hey, brother. One of the people. Hey, Josh, how long you been here? I don't know what you caught. Almost 2 hours of talk. So, just seen the message right on. All right, well, I was just signing off, and you popped in, so that's great. All right, everybody. I'll be back again soon. I love you. Fighting for you.